You are broke again. It's the 25th of the month and your bank account shows those numbers that make your stomach churn. Almost nothing. You look at your phone and think, but how? I received my salary 3 weeks ago. And the worst part, last month the exact same thing happened. And the month before that too. You work, you put in the effort, you fulfill your obligations, but the money simply evaporates. It disappears like water slipping through your fingers. And then that silent despair hits, that suffocating feeling of being trapped in an invisible trap. The truth that no one wants to admit is this: most people live like this. Trapped in an endless cycle of earning, spending everything, and starting from zero again the next month. It doesn't matter if you earn little, an average amount, or a lot. The pattern is the same. Your salary goes up, your expenses rise along with it, and you remain exactly where you are. Broke. Anxious. With no real prospect of change. But there is something very few people know, an ancient secret that remains valid to this day. It's not about earning more money. It's not about getting a better job or waiting for a promotion. It's about something much simpler and at the same time, much harder to put into practice. It's about completely changing the way you see the money that already passes through your hands. Thousands of years ago, in ancient Babylon, there were men who discovered financial principles that turned beggars into prosperous merchants. These principles did not depend on luck, inheritance, or magic. They depended only on discipline and knowledge. And the most impressive part, these same principles work perfectly today, in the middle of the 21st century, with the same effectiveness as when they were created. The first and most important principle is so simple it almost seems offensive: save at least 10% of everything you earn. Always. Without exception. It doesn't matter how much you earn. Does it seem like too little? Does it seem impossible? That is exactly what keeps you trapped. Because your mind is already screaming, but I can't save. My bills eat everything. And that's where the problem lies. You believe your expenses are fixed, unchangeable, when in reality they simply expand to consume all the money available. This even has a name: Parkinson's law applied to finances. The more you earn, the more you spend, always leaving zero at the end. The narrative begins with a fundamental rule: saving at least 10% of everything you earn, regardless of income. This reserve is treated as a personal pouch, which should grow month after month. Next, the text addresses the importance of controlling expenses, highlighting that an increase in income usually comes accompanied by an increase in lifestyle, which keeps many people trapped in debt. Then, the focus shifts to multiplying the saved money, arguing that saving is only the beginning. Money needs to work, whether through investments or businesses. This pouch of money that you begin to form is sacred. It is not for emergencies. It is not for that unmissable promotion. It is not for anything other than growth. Month after month, this pouch increases. And with it, something much more important also grows: your confidence. For the first time in your life, you are not just surviving until the next paycheck. You are building something. But here comes the part that most people completely ignore. Saving money is only the beginning. It is the first step. Because what's the point of accumulating an amount under the mattress? Money sitting still does not work for you. It just sleeps. And while it sleeps, inflation quietly eats away at its value. The secret lies in making that money multiply. And no, I am not talking about miracle schemes, trendy cryptocurrencies, or risky bets. I am talking about solid principles, tested over millennia. Your money needs to work for you. It needs to generate more money while you sleep, while you work, while you live your life. If you're enjoying this explanation, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And leave a comment saying which city or country you are watching from. I want to know who is truly committed to changing their financial life. Many people think investing is for the rich. That you need millions to start. That's a lie. You can start with crumbs. What matters is not the size of the initial amount. What matters is starting. It's creating the habit. But there is a dangerous trap along this path. A temptation that knocks down thousands of people every day. This trap has a name: promises of quick wealth. They appear from all sides. That friend saying he tripled his money in a week. The ad promising absurd returns. The social media guru showing luxury cars and saying you can have all that in 3 months. And when you finally put together your first savings, the temptation is gigantic. You think, if I invest here and double this money, I'll speed everything up. Then you put your hard-earned money into that magical opportunity. And what happens? You lose everything. Or you lose half. Or you get stuck in an investment that is worth nothing. And you're back to zero. All that discipline, those months saving 10%, sacrificing small pleasures, all thrown in the trash because of greed mixed with desperation. The second principle of the Babylonians is clear: protect your treasure from losses. It seems obvious, but most people completely ignore it. They protect their homes with locks and alarms, but throw their money into any shady scheme that promises miracles. Your money needs to be in safe places, with people who truly understand finance, not with sellers of illusions. Solid investments are boring. They won't make you rich overnight. They don't give you that adrenaline rush of winning big fast. But do you know what they do? They grow. Slowly, consistently, without drama. And at the end of 5-10 years, when you look back, you'll realize that boring, safe money truly multiplied, while your friends who were chasing shortcuts are still in the same place, running after the next miracle promise. Now comes a brutal truth that almost no one accepts: you need to control your spending, no matter how much you earn. There is a very dangerous illusion that earning more solves everything. You earn little and think, if I earned double, my life would change. Then you manage to earn double. And guess what? You're still broke. Because your expenses rise along with it. You move into a better apartment. Buy a newer car. Start going to more expensive places. Change your phone more often. And at the end of the month, that bigger salary disappeared exactly like the smaller salary did before. The problem was never how much you earn. The problem was always how much you spend unnecessarily. Your essential expenses should never exceed 70% of your income. Never. 10% you save, remember? But what about the other 20? That's your safety margin. For investing, for real emergencies, for creating opportunities. It's not for spending on nonsense just because the money is there. The issue is that you need to define what truly essential expenses are. Housing, food, basic transportation, health. That's it. The rest? They are desires disguised as needs. That streaming service you barely watch. That food delivery 3 times a week. That new piece of clothing because it was on sale. That financed phone that costs twice your salary. Every cent that leaves your account needs to be questioned rigorously. Is this really necessary? Will this improve my life in a significant way? Or is it just an impulse I'll forget next week? The difference between those who build wealth and those who live eternally broke lies exactly in these small daily decisions. And here is something that goes against everything you were taught: having expensive things does not make you rich. Having expensive things makes you poor. The guy with a financed car, an expensive rented apartment, and a closet full of brands is not rich. He is drowning in commitments that suck all his money. Meanwhile, there are people with simple cars, living in modest places, who have hundreds of thousands saved and invested. True wealth is invisible. It's not in what you show, it's in what you accumulate in silence. It's in your investment account growing month after month with consistency. It's in your ability not to panic when something unexpected happens because you have reserves. It's in your freedom to choose, to say no to bad jobs, to help the people you love, to live without that constant tightness in your chest. But there is something even more important than saving and protecting your money. That something is making your money truly work for you. We're not talking about leaving it sitting in a miserable savings account that barely keeps up with inflation. We're talking about real multiplication. And that begins when you understand that each unit saved can turn into 2, 3, 10 times more over time. But only if you know where to put it. The Babylonians had a clear principle about this: make gold your hard-working slave. Your money needs to go out to work and come back bringing more money. And that money that comes back also needs to go out to work. It's a self-feeding cycle, growing exponentially. While you sleep, while you work, while you live, your money is out there multiplying. But here's the problem: most people are afraid to invest because they don't understand it. And what we don't understand, we completely avoid. So it feels easier to leave money sitting still, rotting, losing value every month to inflation. It's like having quality seeds and never planting them, just keeping them in a drawer until they spoil. Investing is not complicated. What is complicated is overcoming your own fear and your own ignorance. You don't need to be a financial genius. You need to start small, study the basics, and grow as you learn. No one starts knowing everything. Every successful investor was a beginner one day, made mistakes, adjusted course, and continued. There is a powerful concept called compound interest. Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. It works like this: you invest an amount that yields 10% per year. In the first year, you have 10% more. In the second year, that larger total yields 10%. In the third year, another 10% on an even larger amount. Does it seem small? Wait 30 years. That initial money multiplies more than 17 times. Without you doing absolutely anything other than waiting. Now imagine if you add more money every month during those 30 years. You won't believe the result. We're talking about exponential multiplication. And this with small amounts, accessible to those who earn little. Time is your greatest ally or your greatest enemy, depending on what you do with it. But there is a principle people completely forget: secure income for the future. Everyone thinks they will work forever, that they will have eternal health, that public retirement will solve everything. And then they reach 60, 70 years old, unable to work, depending on a retirement income that barely pays basic bills, living off favors or crumbs. Building future income is not optional. It is mandatory. You need to create income sources that exist independently of your active work. Investments that pay dividends. Rental properties. Businesses that operate without your constant presence. Anything that puts money into your account without you having to trade hours of life for a salary. And do you know what the hardest truth is? You will never get rich just by working. Never. It doesn't matter how much overtime you do. It doesn't matter how hard you try. Your time is limited. Your body has limits. But your money? Your money has no limit of hours. It can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year long. That's why the rich get richer. Not because they work harder, but because they learn to make money work. While you are trading time for money, they are multiplying the money they already have. While you spend everything you earn, they reinvest the profits. It's an unequal race, and you only lose because you are playing the wrong game. There is another crucial principle: increase your earning capacity. It's not enough just to save and invest if you don't grow. Your greatest source of wealth is yourself. Your skills. Your knowledge. Your ability to solve problems and generate value. The more valuable you become, the more money naturally flows toward you. Investing in yourself is not a luxury. It is pure and basic necessity. Courses, books, mentorships, experiences that expand your capabilities. Every cent invested in your development returns multiplied throughout your life. Because unlike a financial investment that can fail, no one can take your skills away from you. But for all this to work, you need a solid foundation. That solid foundation has a name: owning your home. It may sound old-fashioned to talk about this, but the Babylonians understood something fundamental. When you pay rent, you are enriching someone else. Every month, a significant portion of your money goes away forever, building the wealth of someone who is not you. Owning your own home is not just an emotional issue. It's pure math. Every cent you stop paying in rent is money that can be saved or invested. And when you finally pay off your home, one of the biggest monthly expenses simply disappears. Imagine having another 30–40% of your income free every month. That completely changes the game. Of course, buying a home does not mean going crazy with an impossible mortgage you can't afford. It means planning intelligently, saving for a decent down payment, and choosing a property within your real means. It doesn't need to be your dream home. It needs to be your home. A place that grows in value while you live in it with your family. Now let's put everything together. Because these principles do not work in isolation. They work together, creating a system that feeds itself. You save 10%. That money is protected from losses and put to work in solid investments. The returns increase your ability to save more. You control expenses, preventing your lifestyle from rising uncontrollably. You invest in yourself, increasing your earning capacity. You work toward owning your home, eliminating a massive expense. And you secure future income so you don't depend only on active work. It's a virtuous and powerful cycle. Each principle strengthens the other. And the longer you keep this system running, the more powerful it becomes. In the beginning, it feels like nothing is happening. You save a little every month and think, this won't make me rich. But it's not about getting rich fast. It's about building real, solid, unshakable wealth. In the first year, you have your first savings set aside. It seems insignificant. In the second year, the amount doubles. In the third, it keeps growing. Suddenly, in the fifth year, you look and have a significant amount invested and earning, growing on its own. And that's just the beginning. In 10 years, it's amounts that change lives. In 20, 30 years, it's complete financial freedom. But do you know what the most incredible part is? It's not the money itself. It's who you become in the process. You develop discipline. You learn to say no to stupid impulses. You gain control over your life instead of being controlled by circumstances. You stop blaming the government, the economy, the boss, and take full responsibility for your financial destiny. While your friends keep complaining that there's never any money left, you are building in silence. While they buy things to impress people who don't care about them, you are accumulating real assets. While they live in end-of-month desperation, you sleep peacefully knowing you have reserves, investments, and a solid plan. The truth is that most people will never apply any of this. They will watch, agree with everything, and continue doing exactly the same things they've always done. Because change hurts. It requires effort. It requires giving up immediate pleasures in exchange for future benefits. And most people prefer immediate pleasure, even knowing they will regret it later. But you don't have to be most people. You can be different. You can start today now, with what you have. It doesn't matter if you earn little or a lot. The principles are the same. Save 10%. Protect that money. Make it work. Control your expenses. Invest in yourself. Secure your future income. Work toward owning your home. These principles have survived thousands of years because they work. They are not tricks. They are not shortcuts. They are solid foundations of wealth building that are independent of time, place, or starting condition. Millions of people escaped poverty by following exactly this. And millions remain poor by ignoring exactly this. If you made it this far, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave a comment saying which city or country you are watching from and whether you will really apply these principles in your life. The choice is yours. Continue as you are or start building something real. Wealth is not luck. It is choice. It is discipline. It is time. Start small, but start now.